الله أكبر الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه. أما بعد, brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So in this talk, I would like to ask you a question, and I will answer this question on your behalf, so you don't have to think. When you come to the masjid, and when you listen to the imam speaking, or giving a lecture, or you listen to a speech, what is the purpose? What you want to learn from the imam when he's saying something, especially on the Friday? When you're coming from outside, coming to the masjid, what are you expecting to get out? What's the message that you would like to learn and get it out home with you? And I would like to answer this on your behalf because I'm also in your shoes. I'm also used to be all the time as member of the public, attends to the imam's speeches. So I would like to say first, there are some of us come to the masjid, especially on Friday, and they actually didn't bother so much about what the imam is going to say, or if he knows what he's talking about or don't. It doesn't really matter for them what message they want to learn. They come here just to perform the duty, to do the Jummah Salah and go home. And for these people, listening to the khutbah, it's not a big deal to learn or not to learn. This kind of people, actually, we need to give them a credit as well. We need to appreciate the fact that they have left their work, they put the efforts, they come to the masjid, even if they don't want to learn anything from the khutbah, but they should be given a credit of their love to Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, their love of the religious commitments. They come to please Allah, but about the content of the khutbah is not really important matter for them. But the positive thing, and thinking positive about them, that they love Allah and His Rasul. And we must remember Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in this case, when a man came to him and asked him when the day of judgment is going to take place, when it's happening. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam would like the man to be practical. Don't worry, he said to him, don't worry about the day of judgment, it's happening. But what have you prepared for the day of judgment? And the man said, I have prepared nothing, except I love Allah and His Rasul. And Rasulullah said to him, and your love to Allah and His Rasul will admit you to the Jannah. Loving Allah and His Rasul only, he said, that will take you to the Jannah. Some of us want to learn something. They want to learn a message from the khutbah. But what actually we would like to learn from the khutbah, and what actually is going on in our masajid, especially on the Friday speeches, I think mostly is about preaching, or in Arabic called wa'z. Wa'z is to preach people, remind them of their destiny, that they will die, talk about the day of judgment, sign of the day of judgment, the appearance of the Mahdi or the Antichrist, or the details of the reward and punishment in the graveyards, punishment and reward, punishment in the hellfire, reward in the paradise, and so on. So most of these kind of speeches which is promoted, and I would like you to have a look at the posters in some Islamic centers or some masajids, and see the speeches and the talks and the lectures what they are actually talking about, they are talking about these topics, these kind of wa'adh, admonitions, the hereafter, death. But it is very disassociated from everyday problems, from the things that you are concerned about, things that you need to think about. It's not about reflection. It's not about thinking. As the Quran says, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Didn't they think about the Quran? Didn't they ponder the Quran? But it's more about another message. And unfortunately, this is the most dominating language. And the language is, the tone that's used in these types of talk is fear, instilling fear into the hearts of the people. And the more you make the people scared and afraid, the more attractive you become. And the bigger is your audience, and everyone will pay attention. And the message of Rahmah has been lost in this type of talk. So the majority of the people, when they come to the masjid, they would like to listen to something like that or similar to that. And when you ask, why is the people, what happened? What makes us like that? Why we would like all the time to talk about death and the hereafter and forget our own problems and focus on our own challenges? What is the turning point that is changing our whole mentality? And just we would like to talk about spiritualities rather than real problems. What's the turning point? The turning point starts very back deep in history. At the time of the Umayyad dynasty, there was huge or less level of tolerance in the society. And everyone was suspicious of each other. And there appeared an imam called Al-Hasan al-Basri. Hasan al-Basri started in the masjid these types of talk, because this type of talk is safe. Take you out from the bad political atmosphere outside. Everyone was suspicious of each other and no freedom as well. So he started talking about that, about death, punishment, day of judgment, signs of the day of judgment, so on and so in deep details. And this is find a huge audience who would like to talk about same type of talks. Then appeared another types of people called storytellers. They started creating stories, and the people start listening more and more. They started giving a hadith, and the hadith ran out. So they started to create stories, making up stories, sometimes borrowed from the Bible, to please the audience with these types of talk. So it developed another level at the hands of other ulama who also promoted this kind of talk that makes hereafter is the main thing, and life, and play down the importance of this life. If you look into the book of Al-Ihya from Imam Al-Ghazali, for instance, he is a great scholar by all means. But you will find some thoughts similar to this, which is not great things to have, and it have very bad impact on us. For instance, at some sections, they would say that there is no need for education. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you have a good heart, pure heart with Allah, Allah will give you education. Allah will make your heart shines with knowledge. So no need for education. Others have come to similar things, and they said, no need to get married. Marry will make you busy. You will have 2 children, will distract you from the ibadah. Remain single. Others says, no need for medicine too. You don't have to take medicine. There are plenty of hadiths that talk about the benefits of sickness and how Allah will reward you when you are sick, and so on. So no need for medicine, no need for jobs, and no need for jobs as well. They said the rizq The rizq, your livelihood is guaranteed by Allah, whether you work or you don't work. So completely wrong ideas. It's not like that. It says, even if you don't work, money will reach you. You don't need to work. Just go and relax. One of the funniest story I have come across, that someone during the time of Ahmad ibn Hanbal would like to test this theory, that the rizq is guaranteed by Allah, your money is guaranteed, decided by Allah, and whether you work for it or you don't work for it, it will come to you. So, no need for it. So the poor man decided to give up food and drink. He said, I'll show my family that food will come to me whether I work or not work. So he started fasting until he fainted. His family knew what he's doing. So they went by force and they fed him. So he wake up and he said to them, didn't I tell you that the rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes to you whether you work for it or you don't work for it? So this is an attitude which is not right, which is bad. And I think this line of thoughts, which is wa'az, admonition mainly, has still its bad impact on us today. When you play down the importance of life, life is not important, you will die, life is too short, pay attention to the hereafter, and so on and so forth. What will be the impact? We can see the impact. Part of the impact is on us here in the UK. Some Muslims, for instance, they wouldn't like to, they are unable to buy their own homes. They are unable to be in good jobs, or they don't even bother about that. There is little attention to the importance of education. We have strong reports to say that we have, and our Muslim students have education under achievement. And so on. So there is the balance was missed. So what we need to do, I think, when you come to the masjid, would like to listen to the imam or listen to the khutbah, I think you shouldn't expect about morality and spiritualities alone. You need to learn something. You need to be educated, or at least that the imams gives you a food for your thoughts, something to think about. Sometimes it can be difficult and challenging, and it can hurt your feeling, but it is good and productive on the long run for yourself and for your family. We need to restore this balance between the dunya and the akhirah in our talk and in our attitude. Balance between this life and the next life. The Quran teaches us this dua. It says, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. Give us good in this life, and this life first before the second life. And the akhirah give us good. And the Quran, and Rasulullah ﷺ used to make this dua. It says, اللهم أصلح لي دنياي التي فيها معاشي وآخرتي التي إليها معادي. Ya Allah, make the life in which I live better, and make the second life in which I will return better. So this is the balance which is lost. We need to learn from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam advices, wise advices. When he finds someone too materialistic, very involved in the dunya, paying no attention to the akhirah, he would give him, says, this life doesn't worth a wing of a fly in the sight of Allah. Because this person is too materialistic, forgetting about his life. Another one sitting in the mosque all the time, no work, fasting, affecting his own body, affecting his family, neglecting other duties. He would say to him, أَنْتَذَرَ وَرَثَتَكَ أَغْنِيَاء خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَنْتَذَرَهُمْ عَالَ يَتَكَفَّفُونَ النَّاسِ. To leave your inheritors, to leave your family rich, in this world, to leave them rich, better than to leave them poor, asking people for help. So this, the message of Rasulullah, he chooses the right advice for each individual. It is not fair when we are taking these hadiths and take the wrong hadiths and apply it in our life. The balance is required in our life, and I would like you, and we would like to change ourselves, that when we come to the masjid, not only to strengthen our faith, no, but to have something to think about, to consider, and to reflect upon, as the Quran teaches us, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Didn't they think or ponder on the meaning of the Quran? Brother Tariq, got some announcements?